That's okay. I know you. I've been sitting here for half an hour going, where the hell is...
Where the fuck is she? Sorry.
Okay, that's...
So, so I thought it would be really interesting to talk about your experience because you phoned me 2 weeks before lockdown here and kind of suggested that I might want to prepare.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think California was ahead, but we were actually more aware of it here, me and Matteo, because Matteo's family lives in Italy, so they were even ahead of California. So his family in Italy were on lockdown already. Um,
oh, of course, yes, because Matteo's family are in Italy.
yeah,
Yeah,
northern Italy. So, um, yeah, we had a sense of what was going on at the very beginning of May, um, and we decided that it was probably not a good idea to continue going to the gym. For
okay.
that's the first thing we did, and then we decided that that was kind of high risk in a way. Although we didn't know a lot about what was going on, it's
Yeah,
just that there's so many people that travel through this space and touch everything because that's the nature of what it is,
yeah,
and that use that gym are potentially international or domestic travelers, right?
yeah,
So we probably just thought that was probably not a good idea. So we stopped going to the gym and and bought some basic equipment that we could set up in the garage, like move the cars outside. So we were like, because we were sure that the gyms were going to shut like they had in Italy, right?
yes,
So we did that, but we had to kind of carry on working because we were booked and committed. So I guess the the second week in May, we Lionel Richie's Vegas residency was about to open. So
yes,
I had to go to Vegas on the flight to Vegas on the Monday,
yes,
um, and that felt like odd, really.
yeah,
Like, do I? But anyway, I didn't have to go to an airport. I managed to get a ride on the plane.
yeah,
Okay, so I felt a little better. I wasn't in an area where there's lots and lots of people. On
yeah,
a I was on a plane with like 8 people. So got to Vegas and it was kind of quiet there, and it just felt like really ominous, like it was going to happen. So I guess the that was the 11th. The first show we did a dress rehearsal on the Tuesday night. On the Wednesday was the first show, and already people we were in that stage of not shaking hands and
okay, yeah,
hugging and um, washing our hands all the time, and there were hand sanitizers everywhere.
yeah,
And then, so my contract means I just do the first night of the show and then hand over. There was a show. There were two more shows that week, but
yeah,
I was due to fly back on Thursday.
yeah,
So to be super cautious, rather than I didn't want to fly to LAX because it had already been reported that people that had two people that worked at the airport had been taken ill. So there's this thing called that we discovered called Jet Suite X, where you it's like a private jet, but it's got like 20 seats in it, and you can
yeah,
buy a seat on it. It's a
yeah,
separate
like
part
a
of the
jet
terminal.
taxi
Yeah, yeah.
kind of thing.
So did so got that home, but was super nervous, and um, but thinking back, I was conscious enough of what was going on because I took all the toilet roll out of my hotel room and brought it back with me. That you couldn't buy toilet roll, so I filled my bag with all the toilet roll in my room and the spare one and everything, and then phoned down and more like, "Oh, I've run out of toilet roll. Please send some." So, so I'm not aware what was going on, but we're busy and we don't generally cook at home
Yes,
because we eat and or whatever. So our household wasn't filled with food. So anyway, fly back on the Thursday, but then after I land, I discover that Lionel's residency or the next night show and for the foreseeable future was
yeah,
cancelled. So it was like, oh wow, they're coming back too. That's cancelled. But we were booked to do a commercial on the next day, the
yeah,
Friday, with John Legend, which had been months in the preparation, and we had the clothes designed and specially made and all that.
Yeah.
So that was going ahead, and there was a really strange atmosphere. So this is Friday the 13th,
Yes.
and that just felt really, really odd. Like everyone was, I know there's just a, we knew that things were, no one was shaking hands, no, everyone was kind of bumping elbows, and I don't know. We couldn't wait to get out of there.
Yeah.
And on the way home, we decided, oh, we need to get food because there's nothing in the house, and we need to be prepared. So we stopped. The shoot was in a place called Manhattan Beach, which is out of the main area, if you like, out of the main part of LA where we live, like an hour drive. So we went to this. We went to Trader Joe's, and it was empty. They only had flowers and alcohol.
Oh wow. And you don't drink.
It was so unnerving because we had
Oh
nothing.
wow.
Nothing in the house. We had toilet roll because I'd stolen it from Vegas. It was like, wow, this is really a thing.
Yeah.
Decided to get up really early on Saturday morning and go to the local supermarket.
Yeah.
Um, they open at 8, right? Regularly, they open at 8. So I got up early. I was there at 7:30, and they were already open, but there were no shopping carts available, shopping trolleys available,
Yeah.
because I guess because it was super busy.
Yeah.
So I followed this guy to his car, and like said, "Oh, can I have your shopping trolley?" and wait for him to
Yeah.
unload. Took the shopping trolley back to the supermarket. By then, the doors were locked, and there was a security guard who said, "Oh no, we're full. You can't come in." And I must have looked like I was going to burst into tears because he felt sorry for me and let me in. But I went in, and I mean, I got some stuff, but not really anything. No bread, no pasta, no non-perishable stuff. I mean, it was really weird.
Yeah.
But got some things, no toilet roll, and then so this is May the 14th. So you're still relatively normal over there. Anyway,
Yeah, because I very clearly remember that I was at work writing this book that I was on a deadline for, which now the publishers have furloughed nearly everyone, and the deadline is in a year now. I was sat at work in this little sort of private office bit of my shop, and you phoned me from Vegas, and you said, and my flat was sold subject to contract. I was looking at houses. I had a mortgage in place, which getting a self-employed mortgage has taken
oh,
me years.
I called you from the airport. Yeah.
Yeah, and you said you need to take your property off the market. You need to stock up with food, and you need to make sure that your own kids have got enough food. And I was like totally in denial about this crisis, like completely in denial. And I thought, well, David never tells me what to do. So on this occasion, I'm going to do what he suggests. And just did loads of shopping for days to make sure that my kids were stocked up, that I was stocked up. And that has come in really handy because going to the shops at the moment is not fun.
No, and the other thing that you did was, which was, which was really cool, was that I spoke to Mum and said you need to, not you need to go to the ATM, but
Yeah.
wash your hands
Yeah.
and get cash so that if neighbours get you food, that you can pay
Yeah.
them. You hate owing any money. Stock up with food, stock up the freezer, and register now for online shopping before it
Yes.
becomes full. So she did that, and you helped to find a non-chain supermarket.
Yes, I helped her sign up for Milk and More. And
Yeah,
she said, no, I'll do it tomorrow. And I've never done this to Mum before, but I said, could you do it now, please? And she was like, well, I'm going to bed. And I was like, well, could you do it before you go to bed? Because I knew that it was going to, and the next day they weren't taking on any more customers.
yeah,
Thank goodness she did.
yeah. Well, and then um, we didn't do anything again. That was it. So our last day of work was Friday the 13th. Everything was
Yeah.
cancelled, um, and we were pretty much booked up every day to Christmas with all sorts of different things. Um, so I'm a fashion stylist, so we go around stores and select clothes and
Yeah.
gather them together, and then go to the client's house and have a fit in and try it all on, and with a tailor. So there's the artist and Mateo and a tailor, and there's people.
Yeah.
So we can't do that now because
Yes.
everyone's isolating. So it after a while it was just like our clients are gonna need things, because the two things that continued were or that are going to continue are American Idol and The Voice, but
Right.
they're going to people will be doing it from their homes, so all the contestants and the presenters and judges on Idol and coaches, as they're called on The Voice, will do it from home. So we were pretty organised in advance, but we hadn't finished what we were doing because we work in a more immediate way. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Um, so we had to figure out how to do it with no access to the artist in terms of physical. We would never be in the same room, and
Yeah, because maybe I should explain what your job is to people, because when I say that you're a stylist, people talk about hairstyles in the
oh,
UK. People don't know what a stylist is really in the UK.
a
So
fashion.
so you work with artists in the music industry to help them design their look for concerts, for music videos, and for red carpets, basically,
Yeah, and TV and photo shoots.
and TV and photo shoots.
So just their overall image. I mean, it's to I guess it's like window dressing, really.
Yeah,
You're dressing them to be the best version of themselves, to appeal to their existing audience, and to hopefully gain a wider audience and not scare anyone away. But almost it's because they're seen so often and regularly, and you just don't you kind of there's a lot of clothes because you're not going to be wearing the same thing uh, in a consecutive week on a TV show if you're on The Voice or
yes,
on Idol,
yeah,
and, and almost on those shows you're sort of telling a journey. So you start off kind of casual, and then and then it's auditions, and there's kind of a build up to you get to the finale when it's
yeah.
like huge production and everyone's super dressed up. So yeah, we do that, and it's not like they couldn't dress themselves. It's just that
No,
it's probably better spent doing something else, you
yeah,
know, because you you can cut the grass doesn't mean you do it yourself, does it?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So,
Um,
so you choose their overall style with them. You work with them, and then you go to the big designer stores in Rodeo Drive where you choose outfits for them. And
yeah,
then you also do fittings and you have tailors and you also design clothes for them and have them made.
yeah, and then when there's a shoot day, whether it be a photo shoot or a TV shoot, or we're there to take care of the clothes to make sure
Yeah,
that the camera's running, or when the picture's taken, the clothes look great. So we would prepare the clothes, and if if something ripped or something got spilled or whatever, we're there to deal with all of that. We take care of the clothes so that they can focus on other stuff. Yeah,
yes, yeah.
yeah,
And you do all the little details, don't you, which nobody would ever think about, like cuffs, shirt cuffs below jackets and jacket
yeah,
sleeves. And
yeah. I mean, we do a lot. I mean, I think we dress people in not just one way, and I think that I would say it's being well dressed is being appropriately dressed. Okay,
yeah,
so whatever you're doing, I think it's just being the best, appropriately dressed for what you're doing, and
yeah,
uh, the artists I work with really love fashion, and um, and I think people enjoy the people that are into them and their music enjoy fashion too and their fashion. So it's
yeah,
just one part of the overall thing that they do that we help facilitate.
yeah. So for you, lockdown in LA has been that you have to stay on your property, hasn't it?
We're no, we're like we've been advised for the last 2 weeks not to go to the supermarket. The supermarkets and and the pharmacies are open, but we've been advised not to go if we really don't have to in the last 2 weeks. So we haven't been to the store or anything. But it's not like England. We're allowed to go out. They don't stop cars for drive,
Okay.
and we can go for a drive. And
Okay.
the beaches are now closed, and all the parks are closed.
Okay.
But we have a little. We live in a cul-de-sac in a place called Benedict Canyon, which is like 10-minute drive from Rodeo Drive. So it's in the Beverly Hills, but so we're up a top of what's called the Beverly Hills Mountain, and just so there's it's not like Mount Everest or anything. It's like a hill, and we go for a
Is it
hike.
like Touchdown Hill?
Not yeah, probably, and we can hike, which is the American for walk.
Yeah.
That's we go for a hike, and we can do that. I mean, we see neighbours, and we've been advised to wear a mask whenever we're outside now in
Hmm.
California. So we wear a mask when we're outside, uh, but we don't see anyone. We haven't seen anyone. I think about to enter week. I'm not sure if it's 7 or 8 at home.
Yeah.
But we figured out how to work. So we instead of going to stores, we order clothes online where we can, and they
Yeah.
get delivered, and then we organise them, and then we sort them out and photograph them, send through a PowerPoint to our client, drop them at the gates of their house with their security, and then they set them up themselves. It's actually quite fun to see them um, do what we normally do.
Yes.
So we're sitting on the sofa, or like it's all very chill with a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and they take it off. It sounds stupid, but anyway, normally I would take it off the hanger, hand it to them, help them on with it, and then put it back in the right place.
Yes.
Would photograph it, and we'd have a record of it. Now they have to do all that
Wow.
themselves. If I say, "Oh, you need a white T-shirt for that. You need to get one from your closet," it's them that has to run off to their closet and get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's quite funny, really. But we figured it out, and it's working out so far. So we do Zoom fitting. So we order clothes online, we organise them at home, and then we drop them at the house. We do a Zoom fitting, and we know enough that we could do any kind of minor tailoring
Okay. Yes.
without, uh, you know, we
Yeah,
have
because you can't use your tailor at the moment.
we can't use the tailor in the same room as them, but we could say this pair of pants needs hemming,
Yeah.
and here's a pair that you've already done that
Yeah.
fit if you don't know
Yeah.
the measure. But it
Yeah.
wouldn't. But then they're sitting down in a chair, so you don't see an awful lot.
Yes.
And even if a jacket didn't fit like it would, like you'd want it to on the red carpet, it doesn't really matter because you're sitting
Yeah.
down. And then it's generally more casual clothes anyway. So anyway, there's we're doing a bit of work, but it's very it's different, and
Yes.
it's not
Working from home as a stylist.
right. It's
Really
all
strange having to ask your clients to do your job for you.
yeah, but when you say that, that's kind of it. It's actually ridiculous because all I'm asking them to do is dress themselves.
And because everyone loves a bit of celebrity culture, who have you worked for over the years?
Ooh. Um, well, why don't we have it? Why don't we ask me, name somebody and ask me if I work with them, and I'll say yes or no. It can be an actor or a musician
David
or
Beckham,
yes,
Victoria Beckham,
yes,
the Spice Girls,
yes,
Mariah Carey,
yes,
Britney.
yes.
I love Britney. Okay.
I did 2 videos. I did If You CK Me, and I did the album cover and packaging for Femme Fatale, and I
Is
did
that the like Chanel tweed suit?
that is a Miu Miu suit, and that was for a song called If You CK Me, yeah. And then
Nice.
I
Love
did
that look.
a sleeve, and I did another video called I Want to Go, yeah.
Yeah, I love that as well. I love that. I might put that up in the. That's one of my favourite videos that you've done, so I might put it in the comments as a link. Sting,
Yes, spent 4 years.
Snow Patrol,
Yeah, spent a couple of years.
uh, Boy George.
Yeah. Off
Um,
for 30 years. Yeah.
30 years ago. Um, Shakespeare's sister.
Yes.
I know that because you got me guest list tickets to their gig in Bath, which was amazing.
Yeah. Well, that was the first time I'd worked with them since 1989. That was the
They look
first.
so cool.
We hadn't worked together we worked together in 1989 once, and then again 30 years later.
They looked amazing. I loved everything that they wore.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
a fantastic gig. Fantastic. We were at the front, like, woo.
And you took my.
Um, let's see, who else can I think of? Can I think of anyone you haven't worked with? David Bowie, Madonna, and Prince.
Yes, but I've met all three of them.
Have you?
Mm.
And those are the only three I can think of that you haven't worked with.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh, have
I've
you
worked.
dressed Kate Moss?
Yes, I have.
Oh my god, I love her. Okay.
Uh,
Um,
but like more real people, more like Paul Newman. I worked with Liza Minnelli, Jack Nicholson, like older kind of cool people. Uh,
classic,
Chris,
classic artists.
Chris Hemsworth, Matthew McConaughey, but a lot of Gerald Butler, um, Naomi Watts. Just, I mean, actors. Um, I currently work. I mean, Calvin Harris, David Guetta. I
Calvin
work.
Harris, yeah, I'm still waiting for him to pop into my shop when it's open again.
Yeah, hopefully he will.
I'm
And then
sure he will.
I work with Kane Brown, who's a young country artist. Um, that's more like that's cool and fashiony. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't know. Westlife.
Oh yeah, Westlife, yeah.
Yeah. So we were going to do a, a festival tour with John Legend in Europe. That got cancelled this summer. I'd been asked to do the Westlife tour that was coming to design the Westlife tour that was coming to Gloucester and then Wembley.
Oh
It's
wow.
not coming to Gloucester anymore.
No.
And I don't know if I can do it if they do Wembley because of flying and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Lionel's tour in the UK and his festival tour and his Vegas tour. So, I mean, I think everything's just going to happen next year,
Yes.
like you mentioned your book.
Yeah. It seems like everything's getting put back again to me.
Right. Okay. Well, then we just have to learn to relax. It's just
Yeah.
weird. My book was also going to be released in September.
Oh yeah. So could you tell us about your book?
Um, I started styling with a grant from the Prince's Trust in 1988, which is 32 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm an ambassador for the charity, and the Prince of Wales asked me to do a book to tell my story and to illustrate a Prince's Trust success story and to raise money for the charity. So um, it felt a bit, felt a bit not
Yes, I
so.
can imagine. Why would you want to write a book about yourself? How embarrassing.
But it's a coffee table
But
book.
then if Prince Charles asks you, you have to.
Well, anyway, that was a while ago, over 10 years ago. So now I'm doing it, and it's being published with a UK company called Unicorn Publishing. Well, the plan was that it would be released simultaneously in September in the UK and America, but I think we're not going to release it in September. But it's a coffee table book, and it's called Vanity Project. And Vanity Project: A Tale of Fashion Celebrity by David Thomas. And it's kind of like my journey from how I went from being a plumber to a hairdresser to working in Tower Records in London to New York to then becoming a stylist in '88 and then becoming the youngest fashion editor in the world in like 1990, 91. After 2 years of assisting, I was a fashion editor at
Yeah,
Esquire.
because you were fashion editor for
Esquire.
Esquire magazine, weren't you?
Yeah, and then I left there and went to as a contributing fashion editor to American Esquire Gentleman, and I worked for Vogue Homme and Vogue Homme International, Under Armour Vogue, and Interview magazine in that kind of period. and then I got more into the music stuff, and then in 2004 I moved to America. So like I guess pretty much half my career has been here.
Yeah.
But so it's pictures and it's interviews um, with lots of different people. So I tell my story, but I don't talk about my clients.
No, of course, that would be rude.
Yeah, and I'm still
I
doing that.
hate that culture. I hate that culture of celebrity gossip. I think it's ghastly. Like, they're people who are great at their jobs. That's it.
Yeah, so I think the book is like it's kind of my story, but it's also the history of styling, which was a very young industry when I started, and how it
Yeah.
developed and evolved over 30 years, and how the whole nature of celebrity has changed, and fashion too,
Yes.
and where we're at now. So there's lots of interviews. Lisa Stansfield was my first ever job on my own. She's
Yeah.
interviewed. I assisted Isabella Blow, who you know or did know from Gloucestershire.
Which is how I met Isabella, which is why she and Jasper Conran launched Died Farmers Market, because
How long ago was that?
um, you introduced me to Isabella.
Yeah.
She wanted to launch the farmers market, and then you phoned me from Fashion Week in Brazil on my landline, because it was before mobiles,
South Africa.
and
South,
well, it was before I had a mobile. And
South
you
Africa.
said, "Oh, do you want to talk to my friend Jasper?" And I was like, "Oh, hi Jasper, what do you do?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm a fashion designer. I'm at Fashion Week in Brazil with your brother. What do you do?" And I was like, "I'm setting up this market." And he said, "Would you like me to officially open it for you?" And I was like, "Well, I would, but I've already asked Isabella Blow, and I would hate her to feel, that upstaged." And he said, "No, we're really great friends. We'd love it. We'd love to do it together." So it was actually through you that they both launched Stag Farmers Market.
Yeah, and listen to this. We were in South Africa, not Brazil, by the way.
Oh, were you? South
We
Africa.
were both, we were both judges on the South Africa Designer of the Year competition. But we drove to Stroud from London together, me and Jasper, in a 1956 navy blue Rolls Royce convertible that belonged to him. That used to belong to Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. I don't know if you remember that.
I do, because I had to get permission from Stroud District Council for it to be parked outside Iceland. And
Oh,
Stroud, at that time in 1999, people were stopping to look at the car, because Stroud was a very small town that nobody had heard of, where nothing happened. And local people were stopping to look at the car.
yeah, well, it didn't fit in Mum and Dad's drive, so he parked it diagonally across the front lawn. I remember,
That's amazing.
and he didn't think twice about that.
Amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, Detmar did an interview for my book, and all kinds of different people. So Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys, Dylan Jones is the editor in chief of British GQ, Anna Friel, the actress. Um, so many people. My mind's going a little blank now.
And when you worked at Esquire, you were the first fashion editor to start using celebrities as models.
Well, uh, yeah, technically I had to use real people, but
Okay.
because they didn't want to use models. But I soon realised that real people generally didn't know how to perform in front of the camera, so
Yes.
didn't really didn't generally photograph very well, and I needed to be. I think that there needs to be more kind of fantasy, more
Yeah.
needed to be more aspirational. So I kind of decided to use celebrities, just people that I like, to give it another layer of interest. So I could just literally write to people. Well, there wasn't really emails then, so it was a question
Yeah.
of writing to people or phoning. So I got Suggs and Tim from Madness to do it, and I thought Charlotte Rampling would be good in men's suits, so I wrote to her to do it, and I got Barbara Windsor to do it. I got Bananarama to do it. All just kind of Paul Weller did it. Just anyone I liked and I thought could be cool, I could just
Yeah.
get to do it. I was just 24, 25 years old, just going, oh, who do you think would be good? And people would do it because it was Esquire. And then when I moved to Vogue in Paris, I got Robbie Williams to do it in the early 90s, and wrote to Katie Lang and she did it. Yeah, I could just do whatever. So right from the beginning, I was already used to dressing celebrities. It used to be models on the cover of magazines,
Yes.
and then it wasn't that easy to get clothes for celebrities at the time. You know, it was
Yeah, right. Yeah.
deemed to be not, not cool. Anyway, that's all completely changed. Now it's celebrities on magazines and
Yeah.
celebrity power, really, not, not so much models now.
And for any young people who are watching who um, don't enjoy school, aren't achieving very much at school, are creative and know that they want to do something else, could you tell your story of the careers officer at school, of being a plumber in Gloucester, reading Vogue magazine in your lunch break and getting bullied for it, all that brilliant stuff that you've overcome?
All right. Well, so I had a careers interview at school when I was in my final year at school, so the fifth year, right?
Yeah, we both went to quite a rough comprehensive school, didn't we? At the time, it was quite rough.
Yeah, I think it was weird for me because all my friends went to different after junior school. All my friends went to Chosen Hill School, and
The
only
grammar school.
or six of us went to Churchtown School.
Yeah.
So all the kids knew each other, but we didn't know anyone.
Yes.
No,
Same.
it was in the same village.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was weird because I think when you're at infant school and junior school and then secondary school with the same people, they just know you, so
Yeah.
they accept you, and you're just somebody that they know, whatever, however strange or different you are.
Yeah.
You go to a new school and you're strange or different. Um, it's not easy to fit in. Do you know what I mean? And
Mm.
kids do single out people that are different or odd.
Mm.
So I didn't have
Yeah.
a easy time at school. So I didn't actually enjoy school. I wasn't very good at sports. That's all the stuff you do to fit in, isn't it? So I couldn't wait to leave. But I had a careers interview, and it was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't know." And what does your dad do? And I said, and they're like, "No, that's not for you." What about your grandfather? And I said, "Oh, he's a plumber." And they said, "Oh, we'll get you some interviews to be a plumber, a plumbing apprentice." So I did, and I got a plumbing apprenticeship with Carter's building firm before I'd even taken my O levels and GCs at
Mhm.
the time, because they had said that I wasn't going to get the grades, and staying on for O levels or going to college wasn't an option for me. So that was it. I left, but then I got my grades. They weren't bad at all. It turned out I could have gone to college. I could have gone to college.
Yes.
I But I'd already signed my indentures to be a plumber, and I was on that road. So I did that. I was on the building site. Didn't love it at all.
Yeah.
Didn't really fit in, just like I didn't really fit in at school.
Yeah.
So that was kind of miserable towards the end. Um, Mum and Dad went to Africa
Yes.
with the scouts to do some good work,
Yes.
a
Build a school
water project, and
and build some water. Yeah. Water.
yeah, dam,
Yeah.
right,
With a village.
yeah. And when they came back, so they went for like 3 weeks or a month, I think. But when they came back, I was a hairdresser. I'd given up plumbing, and yeah. Uh, and I did
Yeah.
it for about a year, and that was a step in the right direction, But I soon sort of, my world kind of opened up, and I met a bunch of cool kids in Gloucester that were into the music scene, and started to travel to London for clubs and gigs and stuff with them, and just decided that I wanted to live in London. And I mean, I kind of ran away to London, but I must have been 19 when I left.
I was there.
Yeah, or 20. Ran away with £30. Got a
A
job.
rucksack and £30 and left a note for Mum, and you were like, Mum had gone shopping, and you were like, I'm going to London and I've left Mum a note. And I was like, what, are you going to a gig or something? And you were like, no, I'm actually going to London. And I was like, what do you mean you're going to London? You had
It doesn't
30
sound like a big
quid
deal.
and a rucksack.
But then moving to London was
Massive.
was yeah, and London felt like a long way away,
It
didn't
was a long way away. It was like 3 hours on the train. It's an hour and a half now.
it? Yeah, so yeah, and then yeah, I had a year in London working at Tower Records and then a clothing store called Hyper Hyper. Kind of just got more into sort of music and fashion and saved up, moved to New York, and it was there um, that I discovered styling because I had three jobs. In the morning, I was um, working in a cafe. Um, it was in a dance studio, so I did that. In the afternoons, I was sweeping up in hairdressers, and in the evenings, occasionally I was singing backing vocals in the bands. So,
Really?
but
Never knew you sang backing vocals in a band.
mm, but there was four of us in one room in a two-room apartment. You know, trying to.
Wow.
Anyway, I just discovered styling. These two girls were like, "Oh, we love the way you look. Will you style us?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't cut hair. I'm just sweeping up here. Help us with our clothes." And that's kind of when I discovered styling, and I realised that I had to actually do something. I had to have a skill,
Yeah.
and decided I wanted to come home. But I bought a one-way ticket to New York, and I didn't have enough money to get home. But my friend from church down, Bish, had bought a return ticket, and he wanted to stay, so I managed to get on the flight home using his ticket. That's how I got back.
That would not work now
No,
with
so I
scanning and everything.
can't find my passport. Oh my god. And around enough that they were like, oh, if you don't hurry up, you're going to miss the flight. So that I just flashed my passport, and they didn't ever connect to.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got home, and then that's when I went back to church down, and dad suggested that I contact the Prince's Trust if I really wanted to do fashion because
Amazing.
I wasn't qualified to go to art college or study fashion or anything, and I couldn't get I couldn't borrow any money to start a business. So that's when the Prince's Trust gave me my grant,
Mm.
which I used to do like test shots to build a portfolio, borrowing clothes from Trapeze in different stores in Chelsea.
Trapeze in Cheltenham.
Yeah,
I
and
met that guy a few years ago. He owns like a whole chain of well, he's in hospitality now, boutique hotels.
oh, okay, yeah.
And Superdry. He owns Superdry as well.
No, that's not Trapeze. That was the other one. But yes, them as well. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, and got some kids from to take pictures, I guess, from the Cheltenham Art College or whatever, or Gloucester
Yeah.
Art. Yeah, and then started working as an assistant, and so yeah, my advice would be just figure out what it is you want to do and put your energy into that, and don't take no for an answer. I mean, it was hard to get work as an assistant, but I just kept
Mm.
certain people I wanted to work for, and I just hounded them. One guy in our web worked on a magazine, and I couldn't actually a newspaper, the Evening Standard, and I couldn't get hold of him. He wouldn't. I kept phoning. So somebody had told me if you wanted to gate crash a party, you should walk in backwards very slowly. So he was going to be at this party, I assumed a fashion party, and I literally walked in backwards very slowly and said, "Hi, I'm David. I've been trying to call you, but you don't answer the phone." And he's like, "Oh, if you call tomorrow, I'll take the call." And he did.
Wow.
And then I kind of interned for him for 3 months. Yeah.
Amazing.
Mm.
And you knew Lee, Alexander McQueen as well.
Yeah, through Isabella. Yeah, because Isabella was working for Judy Blame, who was a jewelry designer and stylist who starred Boy George and Nana Cherry, and I met Isabella, and she wanted to borrow me to do some Malcolm McLaren videos, and through her I met Philip Tracy, who was doing his uh, masters at the Royal College of Art at the time, and Lee McQueen. Yeah, and we spent weekends at Hill's house, So
Yeah,
lots of people are there at the weekends, all sorts of different people. So
yeah. That's how I know Amy and Detmar. Hello.
right.
Yeah.
So Detmar did an interview for my book too.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I just bumped into him in the high street. I was walking down the high street and someone called my name, and that happens a lot. And on the whole, I pretend I haven't heard because I find it quite overwhelming. But I actually turned around and it was Detmar. And yeah, he came to the shop and sorted out that whole interview for the book. Yeah,
All
nice
right.
bit of serendipity.
So on a different subject, it's our mother's 80th birthday on Wednesday.
It is.
And what are you planning?
I'm going round for a distance birthday party, actually.
Okay.
So what I've done this twice now. The first time I went round, I sat in the front garden and she sat in the living room.
Uh-huh.
But it was physically really uncomfortable to have a conversation because there's nowhere for her to sit, which
Yeah.
is comfortable.
Uh-huh.
So I've been round twice, and what I do is I walk. So she leaves the garage door open for me. I walk through the garage, take my own picnic blanket, take my own drinks, and sit up the garden a few yards away from her, and then she sits on the patio.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we're going to do that, and then she does. So at 10:30 they do coffee on Sundays in the street. So they all go out to their front garden. They all take their own coffee. They all bake. They put all the baked stuff in the middle. They have a kind of one person goes up at a time and have a little buffet. So they're doing that for her birthday. The neighbours at 10:30.
Okay. Nice.
And then Rachel's also baking a cake. So Rachel's also going to go around and do the same thing, distance visit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's a bit rubbish, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's in the same situation, aren't they? Across.
Yeah.
So
I mean, she was dreading her birthday, but I think she's actually quite looking forward to it now because the neighbours are doing something, we're doing something. We could maybe all do another quiz
yeah, we could.
in the evening. That would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great.
Noah's writing a general knowledge quiz at the moment, so we could all do that.
Yeah, just maybe we can just have a Zoom birthday party.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've got I can host Zoom,
Okay.
so I could send everyone a link.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and we could do a quiz because it's nice to have something to do. Otherwise, what would you do? We could all sit around drinking tea.
No, do a quiz. It's always fun.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, thanks. Sorry about the bit of a fuck up at the beginning. You know, old habits die hard and all that.
It's fine. Fine. It's cool. All right. Well, stay safe. Stay home.
Yeah.
Wear your mask outside.
What did you say?
Wear your mask outside.
Yeah. Well, we will soon have to wear masks here.
Yeah.
Actually, yesterday I did a 4-hour online workshop. And just before the workshop, I thought I would pop out to the local shop, which is something I never do. It's the first time I've done it in lockdown. And when I walked out, there was a guy delivering a box scheme with a mask and gloves on, and it was Arthur delivering to my neighbours. He was wearing like a high vis jacket, a mask, and gloves. And I was like, Arthur, this is strange. I wasn't expecting to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think masks are going to become part of our daily life for the foreseeable future.
And,
And
you know, maybe you could design us some cool ones.
oh, there's people here doing it.
Are there?
Yeah, you'll be coordinating your mask to your outfit to your sneakers.
I mean, that's the only way I'm going to wear a mask, to be honest.
Mm. Yeah, it'll be a thing.
You gave me that really cool mask, which was designed by, I can't
Ashton,
remember,
Ashton Michael.
by,
Ashton Michael.
yeah, that was so cool. But I lent it to Arthur for Halloween and I never got it back.
Oh, okay.
That would have been perfect.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Okay, thanks for your time, Dave.
Okay.
Talk to you soon. I'll see you on Mum's birthday.
Yeah.
Have
Bye.
a good day.
Bye.
Bye.